Midweek motivation. Listen, we are so super excited about what God is doing for us in our lives. And I'm telling you, today is no different. Listen, let somebody know Pastor Shannon is right now live and he's ready to give you an inspiring midweek motivation. Let somebody know. Tune in to One Touch Ministries midweek motivation with Pastor Shannon. I got a special guest here with me today. So listen, if you want to know who it is, you got to stay tuned. All right, here we go. This is your midweek motivation. Welcome back, everybody. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. Again, I'm Pastor Shannon. I'm sitting here with my cousin, Minister Henry Jackson. How you doing on today?
All right.
You doing good?
Yes.
All right. Minister Henry, he actually does our Saginaw home gathering in Saginaw, Michigan. And so you can see his videos live every single week on our YouTube channel. You always see this displayed up every single week here. But he gives messages every single week and we air them live on our YouTube channel. So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel right here. And then you'll be able to see him every single Saturday for Saturday Glory. He gives awesome, phenomenal messages about faith and power and many other things. So I invited him today. He's on my very first guest here on the midweek motivation. And so basically I just want to talk about, so this past week I talked about worry, fear, and everything else on my past week message. And I believe it encouraged a lot of people, but I just had a question that I just wanted to ask you, a few questions I wanted to ask you. How do you overcome fear? How do you overcome worry and doubt and sometimes even frustration?
Well, with all those different things, I would do certain things to try to overcome each one.
Mm-hmm.
So with fear, I know fear is just the absence of faith.
Mm-hmm.
And so normally when I'm in fear, I normally will have to put my mind on things that I know that God can do for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't necessarily think about the negative. I normally look at it from a prophetic way of knowing that God can turn this around. And so that way, so I don't, my emotions don't be stuck in fear of what's going to happen. And so I'm more aware of looking forward to what is going to come.
Yeah, that's true. My wife always talk about be excited about your next. I believe that's one of the things that, I think that's one way of being able to overcome fear is because they always say fear is false evidence appearing real. So although, my doctor and many other people may say that I have a certain thing or have a certain condition or whatever the case may be, and I want to say that's a fear tactic. That's just having the knowledge of knowing that, hey, there's an issue that's happening with me. So now, maybe before I was fearful of it, but now I can apply faith. And the Bible tells us faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So I believe that you're on the right track here. Anything else you want to share as far as that?
For sure. Even with some people who may not even, for some people who it may be their first time encountering fear. So they may not have the right information to know how to battle it. But what I would say to those people, my grandma used to say to me all the time, all you got to do is look around and see, people in their worst conditions, and you can look at them and say, oh, thank God that, I am where I am.
Yes.
And so sometimes when we see other people struggling, it can help us to understand, like, wow, I do got it good. And so that will sometimes will help you to look on the upside of something as well.
That is so true. That is so powerful. Yes, because sometimes we do look at something, and when we look at something, it's like, it feels like that you're defeated.
Yeah.
It looks like that you're defeated, but we know that we serve a God who has won the victory. He has won every single battle for us. So I gave an example this past week that my first time ever experiencing almost having a panic attack. I don't know why I was experiencing this, but it was just an experience that I had. I've been around people who suffered or had panic attacks before, and I was able to help coach them through it and everything else. So one of the things, like you were saying earlier, is that I was able to, okay, stop. I had to take my own lesson. I said, okay, let's stop for a second. Let me slow down. Let me think, and let me regroup, because I was having the whole shortness of breath and all this other kind of stuff. I was like, yo, this isn't cool. And so one of the things that I was able to do was overcome that sense of being overwhelmed. And how I was able to do that was because of the many things that, I've helped other people with. So is there anything that you may have gone through, or maybe help somebody else that goes through, that maybe they're suffering with or having a hard issue with, that you can encourage them with today?
It's like, I just want to say on the part of frustration. Normally, I believe frustration is something that we want to know the answer to, but no one is kind of giving us the information, so then we can know what to do. And so normally when we don't get all the information that we want, we become frustrated because we're not. I want to say have grips on the thing that we really want. And so sometimes when we don't have a grip on something, we tend to get frustrated. We tend to think we get to lose control. And sometimes we need to realize that God sometimes doesn't want us to have control, or sometimes God doesn't want us to know that information right now.
That's true.
And because He knows if He give it to us, then it might scare us away, or it may make us lose doubt or faith in Him. And so sometimes, being frustrated, I'm not gonna say it's a good thing, but I want you to use frustration as I want to say, like, training wheels. Well,
Yes.
to kind of help you understand, hey, I don't have to know what's going on around me,
Yeah.
and so what you need to say to yourself is maybe it's not the right time for God to reveal it, or maybe it's not the right time for me to take hold of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so that's what I feel. That's what frustration is. Is frustration is that we want control, but then
That
we
is so
can't
true.
have it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's some good stuff right there. That's some really good stuff right there. Absolutely. Yeah, because we are people who we feel like that we have to be in control of every single thing in every situation in our life. And so, with that being said, but just with that thought right there, it's just like, well, then if you're in control, then what control does God have?
Right.
So, man, that's awesome. So, listen, we just wanted to come here and give you guys some encouragement today for your midweek motivation. I want to thank everybody for who's watching, who's tuning in. And, and again, thank you so much, Minister Henry. This is my very first guest on the midweek motivation. So thank you so much for being with us. Before I leave, before we close out, do you have any final thoughts, any final remarks?
No. I just want to say to everyone, on every Saturday morning when y'all go watch it, I'm thankful for each one of you that go and watch it, because no, I don't really expect for anyone to go and watch it, but 2 or 3 people. But every week when I go on, there's like 20, 25 people that watched it.
People
just
watch.
that fast. And I'm like, wow. I'm thinking, wow. It's like, I would never expect me to have that many views or
Mm-hmm.
to have that many people who really was looking for a word to be said to them. So yeah, so like myself and everyone that's in Saginaw, I appreciate y'all for watching, for joining us along, worshiping, and everything else right along with us. The
Yes.
another thing I would like to say is I thank Pastor Shannon and Prophetess Nardija for actually giving me the opportunity and the platform to be able to express what the Lord wants me to express, so you
Yes.
can be filled for that week. So I thank every each one of you guys for actually watching, for actually joining, and for actually commenting down below on the video. So much love from me and everyone in Saginaw.
Wow, amen. That is awesome. Listen, Minister Henry's doing a fabulous job, and we know that he's doing great things. He's going to be with us for the rest of the month. Y'all going to see him on Sunday morning, so make sure that you guys tune in. We're going to have him, open up with some scripture and prayer and all this other kind of stuff. So this is going to be phenomenal, and he's getting some much. I'm definitely teaching and training here from myself and my wife. And so, listen, make sure that you guys tune in. Don't forget that on tomorrow, you have the prophetic sound with the international prophetess, Naditra Young, live right here on Facebook. And that's every Thursday night at 8 o'clock p.m. And then join her again on Friday mornings. And now this sign says 11. I got to change that. It's actually 10 o'clock in the morning for the Real Talk podcast with Naditra. Listen, make sure you guys like, share with everything. Share this experience that God is doing for us. Hey, listen, my name is, again, Pastor Shannon. This is your midweek motivation. And right here, One Touch Ministries, we believe in touching hearts and changing lives. God bless you guys. We love you. Until next week, be blessed.